ARPOB move on a year-on-year basis, I understand the LOS has also moved up, and which is why there could be a case of ARPOB moving down. But this has been the case for both the new hospitals as well as the old hospitals. So if you could help us understand like what exactly is happening across both the units.
Yeah, Harsh. See, even I was wondering that what's kind of a dynamics of this actually. I was trying to look at it. What I could actually look into, conclude myself, is that ARPOB's guidance, whatever we have given the last, if you go the last 3-4 earnings calls, our ARPOB's guidance has always been 55,000-56,000. This is probably a right ARPOB for our business. And sometimes it goes up because of the case change in the case mix. When you have a lot of season, do a lot of pediatric business, then ARPOBs tend to go down. And you do, same time you clock higher revenues and better profitability also. So now with the current, when you look at the ARPOBs today, with slightly lower, which and ALRs is slightly higher, I think compared to kind of a year to year, the change of the business, that's what is actually, it is only about, if you look at an average per LRC is only 4 hours has increased. And that could be a kind of a little change in the case mix than anything else. And there is the last year dominantly, we kind of a business was obstetrics and lots of pediatric surgeries. That took the lead. Therefore, the ARPOBs are lower and the ARPOBs are higher and the ALRs have gone lower. If you go back and see the last 4 quarters, usually our ALRs was about 2.65 to 2.7. Somewhere around that is usually the ALRs. I'm not very sure that ALRs of less than 2.5 is may happen occasionally, but not on the regular. Our ALRs will probably stand somewhere between 2.6 to 2.8. This is actually of a proper business mix resulting in our ALRs. This is how we look at it.
So, Mahesh, if I can add, since Sir has explained about the ARPOB and LOS, so if you just multiply with this, you will get the average revenue per patient, right, irrespective of their LOS, etc. If you see that has gone up, so that shows that we are getting the high complex cases at our hospital, and that has gone up on year-on-year basis by 6% and quarter-on-quarter basis also. So I think 107,000 is IP-ARPP, which has gone up by 7%, which is a healthy sign. LOS is the factor which depends on critical cases which you get, whether you are getting quaternary care more cases or tertiary cases. Based on that, the LOS keeps changing. But being in industry, we feel that what is more important is the ARPP, what type of cases we are getting. So we are happy with the ARPP growth of 6-7%, which we have seen in our case, both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter.
Okay, so simply it is just about the cases, so overall case mix becoming more and more complex to a certain extent.
Correct. So the more complex cases, the patients intend to stay longer period at the hospital. So that may impact the ARPOB. But what is more important is ARPP. Obviously, ARPOB is very important because it's a key matrix, how we drive our occupancy and then revenue. But that is also one of the key metrics which we should look at.
And so just in terms of this volume growth, the double-digit volume growth that you have delivered, again, my understanding might be very limited and might be inaccurate in a certain way, but would we continue to see this double-digit volume growth going for the next few quarters on a year-on-year basis? Because FY24 was also the year where we saw first quarter being a double-digit growth on a year-on-year basis, but then the volume growth was very mixed picture for the next 9 months of FY24. So would that be the case this year as well, or would we expect to see FY25 remaining quarters to be a double-digit volume growth?
This year, kind of largely many things remains very positive because we are looking at overall, there's nothing major. All the elections been over, and there's the monsoons are kind of right on time. Things are going in a right on track. I think the overall even the first quarter itself, we sensed that there is a positive trajectory for the year. So I would expect this year be a kind of a late teens growth for Rainbow.
Sure. And you would continue to feel that that would entirely flow through at the bottom line as well, given the incremental cost that we have seen in the first quarter, irrespective.
Correct, Mahesh.
Yeah. Let's see how the case makes and what kind of pathology, how we're going to deal with that. So the revenues are derivatives. It depends on what we are going to do in the next 9 months' time in terms of as a hospital, that results in a kind of a revenue generation. And I'm sure when you do about late teens growth, you will definitely do an impressive show also as well, the financial side.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we take the next question, we would like to remind participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Bansi Desai from JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, just philosophically checking, if demand in this industry is sensitive to pricing, so I assume that, probably for our newer units, we would have competitive pricing, and probably that also could have had some bearing on our ARPOBs. So maybe, just your thoughts on these.
You're absolutely right, Vansi. I think in the newer units always, there are 2-3 things which plays up in the newer units. One is that so you want to be attractive for the patients. Generally, any new hospital, people see it as how expensive it is. First thing is, reaction is, you don't want to get that major name. So that's you will definitely price it up attractively in the beginning. Second important thing is you may not have the insurances, all those things, so that some of the patients may not come into the hospital because there's no cashless. So which will take about 6 to 8 months, 9 months time to settle down all the insurances to come in. So these factors certainly will play in. You're absolutely right.
Okay, that's helpful, sir. And, from a longer term perspective, when we think about expansion, besides whatever, you have shared, where do you think you have, opportunities if we think from slightly longer term perspective? Would it be these existing cities, locations, or you think there is promise probably in newer markets, newer cities? And if at all, you want to call out where you probably see that opportunity for us?
Yes, Bansi, the one is we have actually absolute clarity about what Rainbow's plan is for the next 4-5 years time, 3-4 years time. So what we have done in Hyderabad, I think we're going to be closer to 1,000 beds, and definitely we are in the business with the expansion in Bangalore to becoming the largest player in Bangalore. We are already there, and Chennai the same way, and also regional spokes in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. This will continue. I think this is where the Rainbow is a household name. This is where the demand continue to be there. This is what kind of a patronage of the brand is very significant. We'll continue to play our dominance in the south, which wherever within the cities, and also connecting regional spokes. That will continue to expand. And while we do that, and also we are exploring other opportunities. Of course, Delhi is the NCR is the larger play, and also the opportunities we're looking at seriously of acquisitions, which I think we are quite optimistic about. If something comes which is philosophically aligned to us, we'll definitely go for it. I think this is how we look at it. I mean, there's a constant research going on what are the new cities, how do we enter. See, one thing we are not very sure of, we are not going to do is that do about 50 beds or 100 beds into one large city and going around putting a dots in multiple places. I don't think that's the efficient way. If we get into the city, we will address the city needs of children's health care in a larger, on a long-term basis. And also we do a kind of hub and spoke model to include the larger part of the city into a network. This is our game plan.
Thank you, sir. That's very clear. And Vikas, just one clarification, on the cost side, for this quarter, the other expenses have declined sequentially. So anything to read there? I see, increase in professional fees, and you highlighted that's probably because of the newer units coming in. But why would have other expenses decline, and should we see this as a sustainable trend?
So Damayanti, there is a, accounting standard, this ECL provisions which keeps coming. So based on that, the other expenditure, which is the one part there, gets little bit adjusted. So I think whatever the numbers we have shown should be stand there right now. Because it's a clean quarter, there is no ECL impact, etc. in this quarter.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So if you look at the quarter 3 and the quarter 2, the more or less was the same range, but the quarter 4 was slightly got impacted because of the ECL. I think the numbers which we are showing for the quarter first is a clean quarter. That is the number which we should see there. Is it clear, Damayanti? Bansi?
Yes, understood. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Rahul Jivani from IIFL Securities Limited. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So you indicated in terms of the break-even timelines for our new hospitals in Hyderabad being within 12 months and for other hospitals being 18 to 24 months. So can you please also talk about the timelines for break-even for these 4 new hospitals which we commissioned in fourth quarter of last year? Because one of those was a brownfield expansion at Hydernagar, and I'm assuming that the brownfield hospital would achieve EBITDA break-even faster than some of your other newer hospitals.
That is actually, Rahul, is an additional block which we built adjacent to the Hydernagar hospital. Earlier it used to be about 80 plus beds. Now that's become kind of 110, 120 beds now. It's a new block. Actually, we dedicated more to the perinatal services because we do a large number of deliveries in that hospital. We just made it a completely kind of the women's block. So that is addition of the beds, which is for demand we have done it. That unit does very well anyway, and it deserved that expansion. We have done it. We are very happy with that. The doctors are happy. Business also are actually going very well. And the next one is that we have done in Himayatnagar in Hyderabad city, which is actually central part of the Hyderabad city, which is the competitive area of Hyderabad city. Still, I think now about 5 months ago, 5 months ago. I think it's tracking pretty well, and it's all a new team completely, and they are doing well. It's going well. It is within the first year itself that we'll break even. And in Bangalore, Sarjapur, I think it's also going very well. It takes probably about 12 to 15 months to break even. That I think we're quite happy with the way it's going. And Chennai is a large facility, new area with a very new set of doctors. It will take about 15-18 months time for its break even, because it's a little high cost unit, because we have put in a lot of money into that, because it is one of the areas, is a difficult area to get a land or building or anything, which is called Ananagar area. So we managed to get it and run the hospital, and it will take, in the long term, that is a great area to be in.
Sure, sir. So then potentially the Hydernagar, Himayatnagar and the Sarjapur hospital should achieve EBITDA break-even by end of this year. And Chennai, you are possibly targeting break-even in first half of next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, sir.
For the next year, possibly next year's season. For next year's season, we should be fine.
Sure, sir. Sure. And given that this year, obviously, with the drag from these 4 new units, which would impact our margins this year, by end of this year, we would again be commissioning, let's say, 160 incremental beds across Rajahmundry and Hennur. So next year, do you think that, given that this year already we would have seen the impact of these new hospitals, FY26 should see a margin improvement for us, despite incremental capacity addition, in fourth quarter of FY25?
You're right. You're right, Rahul. That's what actually our strategy is.
Sure, sir. Sure. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Rahul, to add one more point, it shows the resilience of our business model. We have opened 3 new hospitals and 1 expansion. Still, we have been able to deliver a very healthy EBITDA margin. And the trajectory of the break-even, as CMD sir has explained, I think is well poised for the next leg of the growth. And by the year end, once these hospitals get opened, I think 2.5 of our hospital, including this extension which we did, I think they will be doing very well. So I think we are poised for the next leg of the growth in terms of both margins and the revenue growth and the EBITDA.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you very much. To ask a question, please press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Alankar Garude from Kotak Institutional Equities. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. So first question, we have 8 hospitals in Hyderabad now with 110 new beds commencing operations in the past few months alone. You also spoke about possibly adding another hospital in the coming years. So just wanted to understand, how are you thinking about the impact of cannibalization in Hyderabad?
It's interesting. We always see some degree of cannibalization because the patients which are on the kind of a border between the 2 hospitals will settle down to the new hospital. But we have always seen that the growth opportunity is much larger. This cannibalization would not be really significant because the other hospitals have always kind of been in demand for the beds and those things. So in a way that works better when you have a kind of the new hospital in the network. Some degree of adjustments between both the units of the occupancies would help us in the long term to create more beds for that geography.
Understood, sir. The second question was any color on the performance of the Madhukar Hospital in this quarter? You had mentioned about a pickup in performance in this fiscal. So any thoughts on how's the performance been in the first quarter?
Madhukar, definitely there is uptick in the performance and overall shape of the Madhukar Hospital, and traction seems well. Perinatal services are pretty good, and the executive services are picking up. There, I think our number of footfalls have increased significantly. These are all very positive signs. And also that, the cost structures also, we've been constantly working on the cost structures, and which are also kind of, we are seeing some tangible results of our operational teams working on the cost side. And I think by towards the this year, we'll probably have a much better opportunity to post a good EBITDAs for Madhukar as well as Rosewalk, both of them.
So I think FY24 we were at high single-digit EBITDA margins in Madhukar. So would it be fair to assume maybe a mid-teens kind of a low to mid-teens kind of a number in FY25 and possibly higher going forward in FY26?
I think what we are looking at, Alankar, is that I think it's a double-digit EBITDA. That's what I am aiming at. I'm not sure where I would end up, whether it is the early teens or just teens or mid-teens. I'm not very sure at the moment. So definitely, I think achieving double-digit EBITDA in that kind of a structure of is quite satisfying, to be honest with you.
Understood. And maybe a quick follow-up there. What's the outstanding amount from the trust?
It remains same from the March, whatever we have seen, it is same. So, as the year progresses, we expect that 3 to 4 crore rupees to further come down, Alankar. So it's more or less same status.
Okay, understood. And one final question from my side. When it comes to Gurgaon, construction has not started yet at both the hub as well as the spoke hospitals. So just wanted to get a sense, are we seeing any delays in both these hospitals?
It's not saying, I mean, we have still said about 27, right? Mid of 27. We are in the middle of. So I think there may be a kind of a 4 to 6 months delay, likely, because we didn't expect about a year long to get to the register, the land parcels, and also now we applied for the permissions. Hopefully, this phase of the permissions phase, if we can kind of cut short 2 to 3 months time with all the permissions, then we should be kind of right on the track, maybe with a 3-4 months leeway. We've already kind of boarded the head of the projects, and we are actually working in the on the drawing, various other things. So I think we are also trying to see that some innovative ways of cut short the timelines in terms of core construction, in terms of going a hybrid way. The multiple things we are exploring it, and I think from our side we are gearing up to try to kind of bridge some gaps.
So, sir, if we assume, say, you get an approval in the next, say, couple of months, how much time do you think would it need to construct the spoke as well as the hub hospital?
Once you start groundbreaking, it will probably take about 2 years' time. If in the modern ways of constructions, if you have got everything else finalized, you go the turnkey basis, or if you try to work on with great executive teams.
Understood, sir. That's it from my side. Thank you and all the best.
Thanks, Alankar.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Anand Mishra from Phillip. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Sir, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I had just a couple of questions on your Gurugram expansion. So do we have any broad capex number for the whole project?
I think we do have a broadly, but once we have a kind of a BOQ stages and those things, we'll have a lot more clarity about it.
Okay. And just quickly, so I mean, on the comparative side, right? So I think the Gurugram market is fairly competitive given the density of hospitals there. So I mean, what is our go-to market strategy there? So are we looking at maybe being a premium player, or are we looking at being a mid-market player? If you could give us some color on that.
I think our Gurugram, the flagship hospital is going to be a national referral hospital for entire North India. So that's the positioning what we're going to base it of hospital. The spoke hospital of 100 plus beds is going to be kind of a local Gurgaon high-end hospital. And I think that these hospitals are going to be probably a very, very well built and for very futuristic.
But is it fair to assume a capex per bed in the range of 1.5 to 2 crores? I mean, would that be on the higher end or something?
I think it will be around 1.5. Yeah, sure, for sure.
Okay, great. Thanks. That answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah, thanks. We would like to thank you all for joining today's conference call. Your participation and insightful questions are invaluable as we continue to navigate our strategic path forward. The support and engagement are crucial as we appreciate the time and efforts you have invested in understanding our business and the future plans. We look forward to our continued partnership and are excited about opportunities ahead. For any queries, please reach out to investors@rainbowhospitals.in or Mr. Saurav Bhandari. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of IIFL Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you.